Hola. Okay, so this is still for 9.4, but now we are going to find out how to find the slope of a secant line from 2 points where there is no h. So the last video covered when there was an h in the problem. Now we don't have any h's. Okay, so they will give you something that looks like number, comma, f of a number, number, comma, f of a number. As in, here's the example we're going to do. It says, refer to the graph of x squared plus x as shown. Find the slope of the secant line joining 3, f of 3, and 12, f of 12. So that's what they gave you, number, comma, f of a number, just like I told you. Okay, step 2 says the first number is your x. Your y comes from your graph or from plugging into f of x. So this 3 comma f of 3, that's your 3 is your x value. And we want to know what is the y value. So if I go to my graph and look at 3 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, and then go up to the graph, I don't know, it maybe looks like 10, 11, 12, but the graph is kind of horrible because there's no grid lines. So this is where we can do it from the graph or plugging into f of x. I think I'm just going to plug into f of x because my graph doesn't have grid lines and my eyeballs are old. So I'm going to take this 3 and plug it into the f of x, like f of 3 equals, and then I'm going to take that 3 and plug it into all the x's of the original equation. So 3 squared plus x, which is a 3. So all I did was take this number 3 and plug it into the x's. And I think that gives you not 6, but 9 plus 3, which is 12. So we just came up with our first point, 3 comma 12. So 3 remains the same, 3, but that f of 3, we said it was equal to 12. So that's why I wrote a 12 in its place. Now let's look at this next point. It says 12 comma f of 12. Well, darn, we're going to have to find f of 12 again. So let's plug in a 12 into your equation. I could look at the graph, but my x-axis doesn't go all the way to 12, and my graph doesn't have grid lines, so graph's useless. Okay, so we're going to plug this 12 into this equation, x squared plus x, same way we did with the 3. 12 squared plus, not 3 anymore, since we're plugging in 12 for the x, this is going to be 12 squared plus 12. And 12 squared is 144, I think. Plus 12 is 156. Okay. So that means this point over here, that was 12 comma f of 12, is now 12 comma 156. Woohoo! Okay, so you either find these points from the picture, but ours did not have grid lines and was not big enough for the 12 and the 156, or you plug them into the equation like I did. Okay, now it says you plug those numbers into either one of these formulas. It doesn't matter. So I think I'll just try using this first formula in case you want to try it. Okay, so this 312 is considered x and y. So is the 2 156. But the first x and y are called x1, y1. The second x and y are called x2, y2. So now let's plug these numbers in. It says y2, which is my second y value. So 156 minus y1, which is your first y value, 12, all over x2, which is your second x value, 12, minus x1, which is your first x value, 3. And I think the bottom gives you 9, the top gives you 144. And then if I divide that, I think you get 16. Hey, okay. So that's the slope between these 2 points, 16. And that makes sense because to get from 312 to 156, you have to go up a lot. So that's why our slope of 16 is so big. Okay, let's look at this f of b minus f of a thing. So if you want to use this formula, remember we found f of 3 to be 12. And we found f of 12 to be 156. Well, if I want to use this formula instead, this is like saying f of a, and the f of 12 is like saying f of b. And a is your 3, and b is your 12, because instead of f of b, it's f of 12. So if I wanted to plug into this second formula instead, if you don't like the y minus y1 thing, I could say f of b, which is, let's see, f of b, that's f of 12, and it was equal to 156. So I'll say 156 minus f of a, what the heck was it? It was f of 3, and he was equal to 12. So minus 12 all over b minus a. B is our 12 because it's inside the parentheses of f of b. A is 3. So b minus a is 12 minus 3. And if you look at this, it's the same thing as the previous formula. So it's going to give us the same answer. 16. And the last step says reduce, which we already did, with the 144 divided by 9. And it says this answer will not have an h. So we did it right. Woohoo! Okay, now let's find how to find the slope of the graph when you're only given 1 point. And it will say the phrase of the graph. Okay. So first, they will give you something that looks like this, a number, comma, f of a number, kind of like on this example. I think it's part C from your homework of number, I don't know, 3 or 4. Anyway, they gave us number, comma, f of a number. Woohoo! Okay. Step 2 says the number is your a. Now plug in your a into this formula. So the number is my a. So this number 3 is my a. So a is 3. So now we're going to plug that 3 into this formula. F of 3 plus h minus f of 3 all over h. And before you start panicking, remember on the test, you get to bring a half sheet of paper of whatever you want written on the front and the back. So whenever we have a test, I'll give you a test review, and I'll even post videos of the review, and you can just copy it all down on a little half sheet of paper and then bring it with you to take the test. And your half sheet of paper will have all of these formulas, and hopefully you'll write some of these steps. So do not panic. You will not be expected to memorize these formulas. You get to write them down on a half sheet of paper for your test. Okay, anyway, let's go. We're on step 3. It says find f of a by plugging a into the f of x equation up here, x squared plus x, Okay, so let's find f of 3. I think we kind of already did it on this problem right here because it's the same exact x squared plus x, but we'll just pretend for a second. So f of 3, you plug into these x's and we get 3 squared plus 3, and that's still 12, just like it was on the last problem. So on your homework on this ABCD part, you won't have to redo the math every time. I could have just written equals 12 because I knew it from the last piece of the problem. Okay, now it says find f of a plus h by doing the same thing. Let me see, have we done this already? Oh, I think we did. But our a was 2. Oh, poop. We got to do something else. Okay, so we have to find f of a plus h. And remember, a plus h is what's in this top left right here. So we're about to find this top left, f of 3 plus h. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to plug in 3 plus h into both of these x's. So parentheses 3 plus h, close parentheses squared, plus x, which is 3 plus h again. Okay, now we're going to FOIL out this 3 plus h squared, because 3 plus h squared means 3 plus h times 3 plus h. It means it times itself. So let's go ahead and multiply this out. 3 times 3, 9. 3 times h, 3h. H times 3, 3h. We put the number first in math. H times h, h squared. So all we did was 3 times 3, then 3 times h, then backwards, h times 3, h times h. Okay, when I go to write all this down on one big long line, I get 9 plus these o's, 3h and 3h, those add up to 6h. So I'm just going to go ahead and write plus 6h, and then plus whatever I got on the L, h squared. But that's not all of f of 3 plus h, because I forgot we still have this plus 3 plus h. So everything we just did was for this squared. Now we have to bring down the plus 3 plus h. Plus 3 plus h. Now combine like terms. 9 plus 3 is 12. 6h plus 1h is 7h. And then there's a plus h squared. Okay, so we just did step 4. Step 5 says take these and replace them back into the formula. Okay, so let's see here. F of a plus h was, let's see, a plus h, a plus h. Oh, the 3 plus h? F of 3 plus h? So let's find f of 3 plus h. Here it is, and what was it equal to? Oh gosh, way down here. So that's what I'm gonna put on the top left of a really big fraction bar. 12 plus 7h plus h squared. Then I'm gonna have minus f of a. Well, I think we already found f of a. F of a was the top right of the formula, so it was f of 3, and f of 3 is 12. So we're gonna have minus 12 all over h. Okay, now let's start canceling. The 12s cancel, and an h of everything cancels. So we just get 7 plus, no more h squared because an h canceled with him. So just h. So we just did step 5 and 6. Step 7 says plug in a 0 for h. So 7 plus 0 is 7. So the answer is 7. Our final answer is 7. And this, what we just did, is like part C of the very first page and the very first problem. So we technically just found the slope of the tangent line.